Let's talk a little bit about this heinous murder that took place. I am so sick of this Black Lives Matter movement, this MoveOn.org, all of these movements that talk about how Black Lives Matter. The problem is Black Lives Matter only when a cop kills a black person because the black person is committing a crime. That's a fact. All right? Crime experts release shocking new statistics about black men killed by cops. Pay close attention to this article. This will no doubt send a giant shiver down the backs of every supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement. I actually highly doubt that, because their mindset is already that their life is more important, and they will not and refuse to believe the truth. The New York Post reports, according to what you're hearing from activists, bloodthirsty racist cops are blasting black men like clay pigeons at a shooting range. The pace of this alleged slaughter is breathtaking. Well, imagine that coming from the New York Post. Bunch of lies. It continued to say every 28 hours a black person is murdered by police. Black Lives Matter activist Cherno Biko told Fox News Channel's Megyn Kelly, "It feels like we're in war." If true, killer cops are rubbing out some 313 innocent law-abiding blacks annually. If true. We're fixing to show that that is not true. Experts say not true, not by a long shot. The University of Toledo criminologist Dr. Richard R. Johnson examined the latest data from the FBI Centers for Disease Control. From 2003 through 2012, law enforcement officers killed an average of 429 people per year in legal interventions. These include a relatively small number of innocent people killed by cops, and many more who died due to reasonable use of force. But the biggest problem black men face is that their black lives don't matter to the other black men. On average, 4,472 black men were killed by other black men annually between January 1st, 2009 and December 31st, 2012. According to the FBI's supplementary homicide reports, using FBI CDC statistics, Professor Johnson calculates that 112 black men, on average, suffered both justified and unjustified police involvement deaths annually during this period. This equals 2.5% of these 4,472 yearly deaths. For every black man, criminal or innocent, killed by a cop, 40 black men were murdered by other black men. The at most 2.5% of the problem generates relentless rage, and yet it is rude to racist to mention 97.5% of the problem. The notion that America's cops simply are gunning down innocent black people is one of today's biggest and deadliest lies. Did you hear that? Did you copy that? Black lives matter only when a cop takes down a black man. But when a black drive-by goes by and shoots a little girl on a bicycle, or when a black 15, 16-year-old boy shoots a white 9-month-old baby in the face in Brunswick, Georgia, because they try to rob the mother who had no money, when they do that, it don't matter. Let me tell you what the problem is. The problem is you have black hearts. It's not your skin color, it's your inner heart color. You don't have God. You, all of you out there screaming racism, is the pot calling the kettle black, because everyone that cries racism is indeed the true racist. Y'all are killing your own kind. And then you cross the line and want to kill whites, Hispanics, Asians, everyone else. And you got your Black Panthers movement, you got your MoveOn.org, paid by George Soros and Bill Ayers. You got your Black Lives Matter movement going on. You got all these movements going on. You talk about hate. Tell me, where is the white supremacist hate groups that you talk about? While you're out there protesting, acting a fool, blocking traffic. Tell me who the white supremacist groups are that are stopping you. You are the ones filled with hate. You have hate in your heart. You don't know God, and don't dare say that you do. You talk about police brutality. What about the brutality that you give to your own kind and to other people? What about the knockout games? What about the white old veteran who was beaten for no reason into a coma by blacks? What about that? You scream Black Lives Matter. Well, let me tell you something. White lives matter too, and we are getting sick of it. We are getting tired of it. Difference is we know who God is. You don't. Matter of fact, I think most of you worship Allah. I hear your Black Panther channel garbage, bunch of hogwash. The difference is most white people are law-abiding citizens. We have our freedoms. We have our right to carry guns. You go and steal them and kill innocent people for crack or for gang retaliation or to rob. Look at yourself on YouTube, but look how just uncivilized and pathetic you look. Oh, well, wait a minute. Some of you white people are the same way. I've seen it. Some of you white people, man, I tell you what. You got no class. You got no God. You got no love in your heart. You don't know Christ. Well, let me tell you something. You better straighten yourselves up. Get to know Him or you're going to burn in hell. And furthermore, all you out there voting for Hillary, I seen on Water's World where one black girl said that she was voting for Bernie Sanders or Hillary won because of free stuff. What makes you think you deserve free stuff? You don't deserve free stuff. You're in a free country to be free to get up off your lazy hind end and get a job. I think it's funny. In 2008, I drove through a black neighborhood and everybody had their Obama signs in their yard. They were living in shacks. Rusted tin roofs. If they had a car, you would have thought it come from a third world country. It had been beat and banged up. Almost 8 years later, go through the same neighborhood. They still living the same with their Obama. Now they're Hillary signs or their Bernie signs. And too ignorant to realize that the person your vote for is living at high in society, in the White House, taking lavish vacations, and when they're done in the White House, they're going to have a big mansion, and you're still living in a dump. You're still living in a dump because you keep voting for somebody who is oppressing you. The only people that are oppressing you is yourself for not educating yourself and being smart when it comes time for election. So you go ahead and you keep voting for the Democratic Liberal Party who keeps oppressing you while they're walking around in their fancy three-piece suits. Keep doing it. But you better stop blaming the white folks for your ignorance. And you white people that are acting the same way, stop blaming the white folks for your ignorance. There's enough of technology out there that you can get out there and educate yourself. And if you choose not to, that's your own fault. But again, I just gave statistics. FBI, CDC cannot be argued with. More blacks kill blacks than cops do. Matter of fact, more white people die from cops. And you know what? If you break the law, or you are attempting to break the law, and a cop shoots you and kills you, hey, your fault. There's a reaction to every action, and there's a consequence. And if the consequence be that you are 6 feet under, that's your fault. And if your parents didn't teach you better, shame on them. Signing out.